Evelyn and Daniel Harper live in quiet life in a small town in North Carolina. Daniel worked as a historical architect restoring old buildings. Evelyn was a high school English teacher, calm and elegant. They had been married for 6 years, no children yet, but a peaceful, steady life. Daniel's family had owned a large piece of land just outside town for generations. On that land stood an old farmhouse and a few storage sheds. It had been passed on from Daniel's grandfather, who was known to be a secretive man. Evelyn loved the peace and nature of the peace. She felt safe with Daniel, even if their life sometimes felt a little too quiet. One day they received news that Daniel's younger brother Luke was coming back after 10 years away. Luke returns. Luke Harper and had always been the opposite of Daniel. He was adventurous, bold, and charming, the kind of man who could walk into a room and have everyone's attentions. He had spent years traveling and working overseas. No one knew exactly what he did, but he had money and stories. When Luke arrived, he brought energy into the house. He laughed loudly, cooked spicy foods, and told evenly stories about the world she had never seen. The street of Istanbul, the markets of Morocco, the desert of Dubai. At first, evenly kept her distance, but slowly Luke began spending more time with her, especially when Daniel was working late. He complimented her mind, her beauty, and made her feel seen in a way she had not felt in a while. The secret of gold. One evening, as the three of them sat outside under the stars, Luke brought up something unusual. Did Daniel ever tell you about the family gold? He asked evenly. Daniel looked annoyed. It's an old rumor our grandfather used to talk about borrowing gold during the Great Depressions, probably just a tall tale, but Liu disagreed. He left clues, letters, codes in his books, maps, even I found some when I was 16. Daniel warned evenly not to be believe him. He's always chasing something. He nearly burned down the barn once looked for that gold, but evenly was curious and Luke knew it. Over the next few weeks, Luke showed her pieces of what he had, a map drawn on old papers, symbols carved into words in the attic, a letter from their grandfather mentioning buried weight. She started dreaming about it, not just the gold, but a new life, one where she did not feel trapped in routine. The affairs and the find evenly and Louis grew closer. The tension turned into a kiss and then more. Evenly tried to fight it, but something in her broke. She started sneaking around with Luke while Daniel remained unaware, or so she thought. Eventually, Luke convinced her they could live together. Just help me find the gold. He said, we can start fresh, just you and me, and they found it under an old stone well and the edge of their property buried deep. They uncovered a metal box. Inside it were gold bars covered in cloth stamped with a 1930s seal. They were speechless, but evenly was shaking. We can't just take it. What about Daniel? Luke did not hesitate. He will survive. You have already left him in your heart. Betrayed revealed. The next day eventually decided she could not do it. She wanted to come clean. She sat down with Daniel and confessed everything, the affairs, the gold, the plan. To her shock, Daniel did not get angry. He just looked tired. He knew he had softly, I have known for a while. He told her he had hired a private investigator after noticing her distance. Then he told her something even more shocking. The gold is fake. I planted it there with the help of the police. Luke had been under investigation for fraud and money laundering in several countries. Daniel had worked with federal agents to finally catch him. The story of the gold was bait and eventually had walked right into it. Luke was arrested the same evening, evenly watched from the porch as he was taken away in handcuffs, still smirking like it was all a game. What's the left? After that, nothing was the same. Daniel filed for divorce quietly with and without angry, eventually moved to a small apartment in Asheville. She turned to teaching, but her heart was never fully in it again. Sometimes she would look at her student reading stories about betrayal and guilty Shakespeare's, and she would pause because she knew how easy it was to lose yourself in a story someone else writes for you, and how hard it is to live with the ending. She left her husband for his brother, then discovered his daughter's secret. So friends, like, share and subscribe channel. Thanks for watching.